Hello everyone, Gaming with Big Green, and we're here to look at the War Academy and just talk about this as a whole here in King Shot. And we're going to talk about the things that we've been talking about in previous videos, and it was brought up the other day. We're going to talk about the dreaded 10-10-80 in Bear Trap and why it is just not possible just to be given out as a common reference. I understand why people say it, because they think archers automatically are the highest deal in damage troops they have, and that's your best damage, but that's not the case. And we're going to go ahead and look over numbers today, and I'll prove to you guys here in this video that it is not the case, and that it is just not feasible to run 10-10-80 during Bear Trap, especially here, because we don't, if you bring infantry and cavalry, we don't want that. We want you got to have a mix, okay? You don't want to just jam. You give yourself the best 10-10-80 and then just jam all your infantry and cavalry off into other people. And why am I saying that? Because the total amount of troops is just not possible. Okay, that's 672,000 archers you would need to run 6 queues of archers, of 80% archers in a thing. So we'll show you that here in this video. We're going to look at stats too. We're going to look at the flat base stats of troops, seeing how that we have this War Academy. Now, you can see here in the War Academy, you can increase your squad deployment, you can increase your rally capacity, you can also increase your attack and defense and lethal and health. This is how I'm going to kind of boost up my archer lethal and attack a little bit more. My cavalry's good. I'm going to work on my infantry health and defense on this tree. You see right there, we can push to the next. Now, to go get T11 troops, you are going to need TG5. You have to go TG5. So don't invest too heavily. If you're not at TG5, do not invest too heavily into this. Finish your TG5 process, because if not, you're going to be scrambling for a ton of material. All right. Focus on, you can focus on the tree, but mostly focus on trying to get your TG done and stuff like that. Like, try to, you know what I'm saying? Where I'm sitting, I could push this up to a TG2, but for me, I rather try to push my TG3 for next KVK over pushing this building right here. And I can get the stats I'm trying to acquire. I got squad deployment, as you can see right there. I can increase my defense my health for my infantry. I could probably do the same. I can start on my attack at least for the archers. So I got some time to play around in here as well. I don't have to go balls to the wall with my War Academy. But again, I can use this and also my alliance technology to kind of booster where I see my stats lesser in my battle reports. And that's going to be very key to what we're going to talk about here in this video. Because I've said this before. I said, I'm not a fan of people just saying, use this, use this, use this. There's stats in this game, okay? Stats in this game are, I mean, they're not hidden. Everyone thinks that, oh, well, it's like, no, archers are better. No, the stats are in this game, and we're going to go ahead and run some numbers today off of my stats. And now, of course, your stats are going to be different than what I have. But take a look at your stats, because you might be making a mistake with your Bear Trap join-in formations. That's correct. You might be making a mistake if you have a higher cavalry stack and you're bringing 80% archers and you have way more damage in cavalry, you're going to end up losing out. And plus, like I said, you need 672,000 archers to run 6 queues of 10-10-80. I mean, that's ridiculous. I got 700,000 troops. I'm not even, I got like 200 and some thousand archers. That's just not possible for me. That means I would be dumping my infantry and cavalry off into other formations. So it just doesn't make sense. Now, I also look at the stats of the rally openers. Not usually on the first run, but I like, once I get settled, I'll look to see what the rally openers are running. Now, real quick, we're going to take a look at the T11s, and they get a huge bump up. You can see it goes from 76 powered up to 92% power. Now, here are your base stats. Attack, defense, lethal, health, okay? This is your base stats, people. All right, I can't stress that enough. People don't understand where to look for this. It's right here in your troops, okay? So you can see here, what is that? That's okay, hold on, I'm going a little too fast for my own eyes to see it, but I have it written down. So the base stat on a level 10 troop for archers is 18 attack. Okay, right there, that's a beautiful, that's a T11. We're going to talk about the stats real quick for the base stats of the characters. Level 10. Okay, archers is 18. Cavalry is 17. That's the base stat. Attack, okay? 18 for level 10 attack. 17 for cavalry level 10 attack. All right? And we're going to go with the numbers of the level 10 lethal, which would be 17 for archers and 16 for cavalry. So the numbers are only one number off at the flat base stat. So when you're talking about inflating the percentages of your attack, that's where you're going to have to look to see. I mean, break out a freaking calculator. Very simple, because I can tell you right now, like, I already looked over all my numbers, and we'll go ahead and show you what numbers I'm pulling from, and you guys can break out your own calculators. Off bat, all right, my archers attack per troop is 95.4 attack. My cavalry, 98.43. So my attack on my cavalry is higher. What about lethal? Given my stats, and now these stats ain't wrong, or these stats are wrong, I'm going to send out a unit here in this video to a watchtower boss to get the stats of my main opening characters. I realized when I was recording this that them stats are just, they're not with the gear and stuff. They're not my main base stats of my rally, like my main unit. But let's talk about lethal. So lethal's at 17 for archer, cavalry 16. All right, if I add up my percentages of the stats I see from my battle report, which would be 364% increase to the 17 base stat of my archers, that brings it to 61.88. My lethal for my cavalry is 77.44. So not only is my cavalry got a higher attack, it also has a higher lethal. So it's not magic, okay? Because my cavalry has more of an attack, more lethal, just because people say archers are better, it's not going to give me a better score. That's not how it works, people. I mean, I've tried this, and I get it may work for you. You may have better archer stats than myself, okay? Like I said in the other videos, it is dependent on your stats. That's what this game runs off of, is numbers, not opinions, okay? And this is what I'm trying to get to people out there. And again, to run 6 queues of 10-10-80, you need 672,000 archers. Archers alone. I got 700,000 troops. You need 672,000 archers to pull off running 10-10-80 successfully. Where, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, what are you going to do? Dump off your infantry and cavalry into another person's formation? Like, come on, guys. For what? Why would you do that? Especially when, for me, cavalry in my lineup, if you bring cavalry over into my team, you're actually benefiting, because the cavalry stats from my gear and characters is actually slightly better than my archers. It's all dependent off your stats. All right. And my stats are very close. Okay. My archer attack is 430%. My cavalry attack increase, 479. So there's about 50% difference, 59% difference on that. Okay. But that gives me a higher, by 3%. That means each one of my cavalry is stronger than my archers by just a little bit, okay? And like I said, the numbers is not astounding, especially for the attack, but looking at my lethal, okay? 364% increase on 17 flat base stat of lethal. Okay, 364% base stat, 17 cavalry lethal for archers. Or not cavalry, archer lethal, base stat, 17. 364%, 61.88 per troop, okay? 16% for my cavalry, only 1% different, or one flat base number different. 384%, only 20% more. It brings it to 77.44. So going off of what my stats are, which once this thing here fully connects, we'll show you. But this is what I'm trying to explain to people. Telling people to go 10-10-80 is just wrong, incorrect information. It's ignorant information. It's not correct. 10-10-80 only works if your archer stats are higher than your cavalry stats. Plus, it only works if you have 700,000 archers. I mean, that doesn't make, like, okay, what are you saying? Only run 10-10-80 on your formation and then just equal out the rest of the formation? I mean, it's not that much different, especially, like I said, with me, if I do 10-10-80, it's not much different than me doing 10-40-40. You know what I'm saying? Or is that right? No. Sorry, my math's a little bad. 10-45-45. But 80, yeah, 10-45-45. Especially because my cavalry is going to give me more points, more damage, because they have a higher attack and a higher lethal overall than my archers do, based off of my stats. So you can see right here, this is what I'm talking about. Pause the video, look at it. You got attack for archer 430%, attack for cavalry 479%. You got lethal for archers 364%, lethal for cavalry 384%, or 364 and then 384 for cavalry lethal. All right. So again, with the base numbers added up, 18% flat base stat for my archers times 430, that brings each troop to 95.4 attack. Cavalry, 17 times 479, 98.43. So my cavalry attack is higher. Same thing with archer. And you can see right here, the base stats, lethal, attack. A lot of people don't realize that the archers and cavalry are only one number separating their flat base stat. The lethal, cavalry lethal, 17 flat base stat. Sorry, man, I'm getting this mixed up. Archer lethal 17, cavalry 16. Okay, so there's only one flat base stat between the lethal as well. And granted, I have 364% increase on my archer and 384% increase on my cavalry, even though that one number is 17 and 16. You know, even though they're one number behind in cavalry and overall lethal, that still brings my lethal out to 77.44% versus my archers at 61.88. So again, my cavalry has more attack, more lethal. So if I brought 10-10-80 in, I would be doing less damage. And again, the damage is based off of these numbers. It's not based off of opinions, okay? It's not your archers automatically do way more damage. No, the flat base stat only separates them by one number. Take out your calculator, go ahead and add up your stat bonuses. Very easy to see where that stuff is. Send an attack out, see what your bonuses is, add that stuff up. See what you come out with, okay? Again, you're gonna build different, okay? I went a little heavier on my cavalry. I'm currently about almost even, I'm just about fixing my archers. I did that so I didn't have to worry about my cavalry so much, so now I can focus on my infantry and my archers dual time, and like my cavalry just in the back thought for me. So I'm really trying to hone in where I want to increase my archer lethal and my archer attack as well. And especially because my star level is a little lower on my archer character versus my cavalry characters. And you know what I'm saying? Like that played a big factor with my upgrade as well, because my star level on my archers has always been harder for me to accomplish. That's why I put more stock into the cavalry. And the cavalry and archer does not separate by, it's not like cavalry is meant for defense. No, they're not infantry. Look at the numbers, man. There's only one number separating them. A level 10 archer attack, flat base rate, 18. Cavalry, 17. I mean, one number, guys. So, I'm not trying to offend no one with this video. Not my goal, not my intentions. My goal is to set the record straight and for people to stop inflicting their opinions onto other people and teach people the game. What are your stats? Take a look at this. You know what I'm saying? Telling people to go automatically run 10, 10, 80 in bear trap. Oh, cool, you have 700,000 troops or archers? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense. You want to go ahead and lay your flat base stats out. Look at them, because like I said, I can very easily sit down with a calculator, a pen and paper even, and figure out that my cavalry runs at a higher damage than what my archers are running. And archers, oh God, archers, they do so much damage. Yo, one number separates them. One number, guys, one number. Okay, that, like, the base stats are in this game. So through this war academy here, I plan on increasing my archer attack and archer lethal, my infantry defense and infantry health, and I'm not going to really touch on my cavalry too much. That's going to be the back thought of my mind going into this. And again, I'm not too worried about getting to T11s because I still got to get through my TG3 process. But I think we covered enough on this video. We're going to have a Thanksgiving video coming out at Reset. And it's not a special link for Loot Bar. It's going to be the same link. I was mistaken in my previous video. The deals will apply on Black Friday. So I just want to correct that as well. But seriously, everyone, 10, 10, 80, no. Who, like, stop, guys. Please stop with that. 10, 10, 80 is the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard. And like I said, if you're gonna run 10, 10, 80, you're gonna do that in every formation. You think that's gonna give you, like, okay, you're talking about one or two formations. Okay, what are you gonna do with your leftover infantry and cavalry? And like for me, my cavalry is just is stronger than my archers. And my numbers are very similar. Like I said, I got 364% increase to my lethal for archers. I got 384% increase to my cavalry. But because their number's only 17 for flat base stat for the archers and 16 flat base stat for the cavalry, even just the slightest indifference in your overall percentages could make a huge difference, because your cavalry is not as weak as people think they are. Like, cavalry people like to downplay the cavalry. And to me, honestly, to see only one number separate the attack and lethal in archer and the cavalry, and for people to think that archers do so much more damage, they don't. They don't. Show me, and I'll put a video out saying that I'm wrong if you show me the stats disproving everything I'm saying here. Show me, because I'm showing you all the flat base stats. I'm showing you all my percentages. Show me where the base stats, you know what I'm saying? Show me different, please. And I'll put out a video saying that my information is wrong. 10, 10, 80 is 100% better all the way. Now again, I'm not saying don't build towards that. You can build to an archer. You know what I'm saying? You can build to a high archer attack, a high lethal. And yes, that may give you more damage in bear trap. Okay? I play this game for more than just bear trap though. So I'm not gonna build 7 700,000 archers just for bear trap. I'm not going to just overdo my attack and archer lethal just for bear trap. Okay, my stats are pretty close. Yes, my cavalry leans a little bit heavier. I could go a little bit heavier on my archers, but even if I had better archer stats, the stats are not blowing my cavalry away where I'm going to run 10, 10, 80. No, not even close. But I'm going to bring this video to an end. Please keep coming back. And again, I wasn't trying to offend anyone. I'm just sick of hearing this shit about 10, 10, 80. It doesn't make no damn sense. So please keep coming back. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you around.